Have you ever wondered what would happen when you fuse a certain something with your shield in the game? Well, I actually fused a bunch of things with shields in this game, and the results were amazing. And I'm going to show you the best ones that I think you should be using to help you with your playthrough, and some of them are actually really overpowered. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to start this video off with a bang by pretty much showing you one of my favorite ones. This is going to be using the Zonai cannon. So I'm going to take this out, and this cannon's going to drop over here, and let's just fuse it onto our shield. All right, now for this experiment, we are not going to be using our sword, so going to be putting our sword away. And the only thing here we can use is our shield. So let's just see how a cannon reacts on an enemy camp. Wow. So you're, oh my gosh. So you created up updrafts for yourself. All right, so there's a whole group here, right? You got white bokoblins here. Wait a second. I'm literally just holding down the back button to launch these. That's a boss right there. Let's see what happens. Does it move him? Does he break? All right, and the cannon shield broke, but it gets a couple shots off and definitely knocks on enemies. That is extremely powerful. So cannon shields, definitely. It also probably can fully breaking the formation of the enemies, knocks out white boss bokoblins, and I'm pretty sure it should be able to, yep, it breaks armor. All right, so definitely cannons, one of the top ones here, just showing it to you in action. So if you want to know where I get my cannons from, it's pretty much going to be in the Sky Islands on the Sokala Sky area, right above pretty much where Tarrytown is. So it's going to be right over here. If you need to go here, you can grab a watchtower and jump here. So this is where I get my cannons on this device dispenser. The next powerful item that you should be attaching to your shields at all time is going to be the rockets. For very obvious reasons, rockets are going to enhance your traveling speed by quite a bit, especially when you're wanting to get into an enemy camp. And yes, I feel bad for these guys because we'll be using them pretty much as the experiment for the whole video, but it's a good way to show you exactly how we get into places. So yeah, if I just want to get a nice head start, rocket shield will get me into where I need to go, and then you can do the rest of the work with your arrows or whatever you have left. Extremely useful to be getting out of situations and using anywhere to climb heights. All right, that's it. That's pretty much the use of rocket shields here. If you want to grab some rockets, another spot that is pretty good is right by Tarrytown over here. So you can go ahead and grab some rockets right there. So this item is pretty much a very discounted version of the rocket, and it's a lot slower. This is the Octoballoon, and it drops from monsters like this right in front of me. So then you're just going to be fusing the balloon with your shield, and you can watch as it flies. It goes very slow, so it's not really optimal, but it does fly and pop. If you don't want to waste your rockets, you can probably use this, but you're not going to get much height. The next item that we're going to be using is the time bomb. Now, the time bomb is going to function a lot like the other explosives in this video, but it has one special feature to it that I think is really exciting. So what you want to do for the time bomb is when you aim it at an enemy and you want one of them to activate it. So let's say, hold on, let's aim at them. All right, these bokoblins are really bad at this. Okay, so they activate it, and then I'm going to aim it at something else. Boom. So it's almost like a completely timed one versus like if I was to grab a, regular bomb barrel TNT and an enemy hits me, it's just going to instantly explode. But the other ones will give me time to just run around. So I think that's a huge benefit of using the time ones. Now, something else this one is pretty much good for if you wanted to get across somewhere. You can do this with bombs, regular bombs, TNTs, but pretty much if I was to just shield surf and get away with it, you can also use it for that, and that instantly will explode. There's no delay on that one. So yeah, pretty much that is what the bomb does, the time bomb. If you're looking for a spot where you can farm time bombs, a good place would be right above this area here. It's going to be on Courage Island. So this is the spot where you would want to go all the way up here. Get your time bombs over there and stock up on them if you can. They are phenomenal. This is probably one of my favorite ones to attach to your shield, the beam emitter. Oh my goodness. Think of this almost like a, I don't know, it's like those ants that are crawling around and you're shooting a magnifying glass and just zapping them. So when you target one, look at this. It just targets them and zaps them. Dead. Let's get this big guy. Ready? Let's see the range on this thing. Look at this. All right. What's up? And he's dead. Oh, he's coming at us? Okay, so it doesn't really push the enemies back, but it does zap them. You can just dodge around and just aim this beam, especially when you start getting enough batteries on your charge. It's amazing. Like, this guy needs to stop. No more. And does it blow up explosives is the question. Yep, it blows up explosives. Okay, a beam emitter, definitely a really good one. One of the spots that I usually come to get this is the Zonai Forge Island. But if you guys have any better ones, you can feel free to mention them in the chat. But this is where I usually come here to pick it up. Hey, real quick, before we move on, hit that like and subscribe button so I know you guys enjoy this video. And I'm going to be making one for weapons too, like fusing all the cool weapons. All right, let's continue. The next attachment for the shield I'm going to be using that's very helpful is the cart. This one is phenomenal to have on your shield because it's pretty much going to be your shield surfing when you're anywhere. So if I was just to hold that shield and whoop, go down here, yeah, it's beautiful. It is absolutely amazing and can help you travel quite a bit. It also works on rails, I think. So go ahead and use that when you're traveling or getting across rails or when you're on the land to move faster. It's just a nice one to keep on your shield at all times. So this is definitely one you want to have. This is one of the places that you can get it from, the same place that I got my cannons from. All right, so for this one, we're going to be using the flame emitter on a weapon fuse. I already have one here, so let's just equip it. And pretty much, let's see what we can do here. So basically, the benefit of this is just to burn an enemy. It kind of just like stops them for that split second where they're not really like functional on you. There you go. You can burn them. And if you're on a grassy surface, it's kind of a great way to just launch up and lift off. That's the cool part about this. And finally, we're getting a new target, Lizalfos. So yeah, it's not going to do crazy damage, but it's going to do the job at least. Okay. But it just burns them. So you have an idea with the burn. So if you're looking where to find flame emitters, the best place that I like to go to is the Great Sky Island. And this one's going to be right over here on the Sky Island. So there's their flame emitters. All right, so the next one we're going to be talking about is the spring on a shield. And it kind of has two applications. The first one is going to be where something attacks you and they just literally bounce off completely. Like they cannot touch me, right? And the second application is when you are running with the spring, you can do a shield surf and you get some nice lift off there. Pretty much just like the bombs when they lift you off on the bottom, but it's a nice little spring. So it's an alternative if you don't need an explosion, but that's pretty much what it does. You can grab yourself springs from this area right above the Kakariko village spot. So this is going to be where this shrine is in the North Necluda Sky Archipelago. I said that's so weird. Okay, let's move on. The next one that we're going to be using is the frost emitter. Frost emitters are pretty cool because flame emitters might just burn an enemy and stop them for a few seconds, but frost emitters, oh, they're like a whole nother level, and that you do more damage when you freeze an enemy, and they can't really pull shenanigans on you. Look at that. Just like that. Even white Lizalfos can't do much against me. So definitely a great one to use if you want to freeze an enemy, then hit them and get some more damage, and it'll stop even high-powered enemies. So I get my frost emitters from the Zonite Forge Island. This is the spot I like to teleport to. It basically has my beam emitters, flame emitters, and frost emitters, so it's a pretty good spot to go to if you need these. And these are very common items I use on shields. So this is a star fragment, and what we're gonna do is it kind of lights up down here in the ground. So what if you were just to take your shield and then fuse it onto your star fragment, or the star fragment onto your shield. Now you notice I'm actually carrying a light with me wherever I go, and you can see the illumination on the ground. How cool is that? It's not going to be useful for really fighting enemies, but it's almost like creating a flashlight around you when you're exploring underground. And like, look at this. Like this is a really shady spot here. It has a little bit of a drop, and then we can pop down here, and you could actually see the light a lot better. So if you're ever curious about trying to see when you're in the underground or in the depths, this is going to be a great thing to add onto your shield. And you can find these falling from the sky at any time in the game. You just have to go ahead and catch them and collect them and add them to your inventory. This is going to be very good if you haven't found your miner's set underground yet, because pretty much that's what it does. Actually, this is better than a miner's set because you get your weapon out and you get the bonuses of your other armor and you get the glow. So yes, actually this is way better. Miner's outfit obsolete. The next one we're going to be talking about is the shock emitter. By far a very good device. It will disarm your enemies. Might come in very clutch when you're in the middle of a big fight. So we have some Lizalfos here as we're experimenting on this ground. All right, so here we go. See it in battle. That's a white one. Get some nice hits on that and put your shield up. Boom. You just want to kind of run into them. Don't get too close because you can get shocked too, but you want to just quickly tap them and then move on to the next enemy pretty much. That's what you want to do. If I'm coming up to this enemy here, I can just pop up here and shock. And now I don't have to worry about that. And boom, he is gone. So that is a very good way of using that. Someone doesn't see you, you just quickly jump on them. They don't know what's happening. Shock, weapon drop. Do it again. Yeah, please use this to your advantage in the game. Very good to have on your shield. Instead of using a shock weapon, you can combine elements too. So it's a nice trick to do. You can find the shock emitters over here in this location. This is a great spot to go to it in order to get a bunch. Now, this one is really cool. If you were ever curious what having maybe a overpowered weapon drop or an item drop from an enemy, what it would do on your shield, well, this is going to be really cool. Now, this one that I'm holding is a silver lino horn. I got some good weapons you like an ancient blade and all that, and Captain Construct horns, and you can use anything basically that drops off the horns of any of these monsters. So pretty much I put this on the shield here, right? Now look how cool this is. It's actually a functional weapon, and I'm going to show you exactly all you have to do to use it as a weapon. So this one is just gonna, boom, that's it. You go ahead in front of their faces and just shield parry, and it's extra damage. Dead. Run up to this guy. Oh, you got something? Dead. Oh my god, this guy. Oh, you're gonna do something? Dead. So you can use this as an extra weapon on top of the weapon you have, so when you're blocking, boom, and then that. So it's almost like dual wielding. It's the closest you can get to dual wielding. I highly suggest you guys try this out with any of the horns the enemies drop, just to have a shield that does extra damage, and it's how you become a dual wielder in this game. So that covers a lot of the items, actually. So I wanted to show off what we are putting on the shield. We're putting a light dragon bike on the shield. This is from the light dragon, and pretty much what it's going to do is have healing properties on it. And I think the best place to showcase is during a Lynel fight, honestly. So here's one I just found, and I do a lot of parrying when it comes to these guys. Actually, I should take some damage here just to show you guys. All right, I got whacked here, right? So my hearts are down. What this guy's gonna do is, and I get some heals. Any heal when you parry. There you go, I'm healing again. So pretty much every time you parry with the shield, you gain a heart back. So you don't really have to eat. He's gonna come again. Here he goes. There we go. There's another one. Yes, you can just whack him just to get your health back. That is such a good way to use this. So you can get it on parry, and you can get it when you're just whacking him for the heck of it to get the extra hearts back. Now you can find this from the light dragon, which basically circles around the entire map in a clockwise fashion. So anytime you jump on the light dragon, you can just jump on its back, grab some spikes off of it, and pretty much attach it to your shield. The next two shields that we're going to be doing is for the Puffshroom and the Muddle Bud, and these are pretty much just found in the depths down below. So the first one is going to be one where the enemy comes at you and you need to get away. That's it. You got a smoke screen and you're out. They don't know where you went. You're out of there. Out. So it's almost like a little sneaky one. So you pop that shield out when it's popped open. It's a one-time use on your shield, and you're gone. They don't even know where you went. The next one we're going to be using pretty much is the Muddle Bud. Now this one is going to completely confuse an enemy and making them attack their own fellas. I suggest you always use it on the strongest enemy out of the whole entire group. Always. I like it breaking open here. There we go. And when you always target the strongest enemy, he's just going to be going after his boys. That's it. Doing the job for me. I think it's really good to use on archers. I actually got to start doing that. And that's pretty much it. That's what Muddle Buds do. And then when they don't have any other targets to attack, they're just going to completely attack you. But that's pretty much what it does on his shield. It's pretty cool for a one-time use versus like the weapons and the other things we did. So yeah, you can find those all in the depths. So this time I'll be fusing Naedra's spike to my shield, and this pretty much is an ice dragon, right? So these are all over its back, and I'm gonna pretty much show you how dope this is. So we're gonna run up to the enemies. The goblins are getting sleeping. They see us. When you shield, nothing happens, but when you do that, boom, you can just keep knocking these guys out. Boom, boom. There you go. Look at that. Silver Bokoblin, frozen. And that's pretty much what it does. So it freezes the enemies and gives you a nice advantage to just attack them. All right. So while I'm in the middle of combat right here, we're going to be testing out what happens when you put a sapphire on your shield. So here we go. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. When you block, it just blasts them all. So when you use the shield and try to do a parry, it doesn't really throw anything out at all. So it's more of when the enemy hits you, how it reacts to the enemy hitting you. And that's really cool. And that acts different than the spikes of the dragons. So let's go ahead and see what a topaz does. And we have actually a white Boko here, or a silver Boko. And let's see what he does. How is this going to work? My gosh, that is amazing. Literally just keeps... And you take their weapons, you take their shields. That's amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's gonna do. It's just gonna shock them, stop them in their path. Yeah, so making direct contact with an enemy, that's it. Just block them. Or direct hits with enemies seems to do the job. So elemental shields might be the way to go. The same thing's gonna apply to a ruby as well. When they hit you with the ruby, it's just gonna be a fire mess. I think I actually might be more of a fan of the rare gems, the topaz, rubies, and sapphires on the weapons. And you can find them right in caves. So definitely a great elemental shield to have with a powerful weapon. All right, for this example, I'm just going to show some things you could do with basic monster elementals that you find just besides the rubies and sapphires that we've been talking about. So I got an ice keys on my shield here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my other shield ready to go. And we're going to fill it with a fire Lizalfos horn. And then we're going to do another one with an electric Kisai. And these are not bad to use at all. Like putting these elementals on your weapons can usually be pretty good and pretty cheap. So we can go right into battle here. There are silver moblin here. There is also a armored one. Let's see what's going down here. All right, there we go. That's the electric one. And you notice the eye did not break in one hit, which is pretty good. All right. And then what I'm going to do here is now we're going to use the ice one. Get some ice going here. And then we're going to get the fire one. Pretty much just a Lizalfos. And that just does the fire. So like mix up elementals on enemies too. So you kind of have an idea how this works. And they're pretty much a cheaper option to use than always go for like dragon shards. But dragon shards do a cool job. But yeah, go for it. Elementals are fantastic on enemies. Okay, this is a dazzle fruit that I'll be fusing here. And we're going to see what that does exactly on your shield. So whoop. And that is basically a flashbang on your enemies. Easy to take out. So yeah, dazzle fruit is definitely going to come in handy for the fights. So use that as well. And you can get the dazzle fruit from the Sky Island area. So make sure to farm those when you're up in the sky. So let me know which shield you're going to be fusing. Check out this video too to see what you can do in the game.